So, yeah, so Tom, to specifically talk about your client, about somebody that was very much up in their head and not able to get into their body and layer stuff on, in order for her to just get that experience of being in the body and being free of the mind, if just for a little bit. And I found I've used this breath for the last 6 years, and it seems to be very powerful for a number of reasons. And I'll go into why I think it works, or at least my experience of it. And when you guys feel it, we can talk a little bit more about that. So would you like to just drop into it, and we'll have an experience and we can talk about it afterwards?
Sure.
Sure.
Did any of you get a
and
chance?
I did get a chance to practice it. Peter and I have some questions about it, but I can ask those after we do. It'd be good to do the experience.
Okay. To do this, what I would recommend, if you can, is to get on the ground in easy pose. It's just, you can get a little bit more solid of a base.
I'm on a couch. I can't go on the ground, but I will sit cross-legged on this couch.
Okay, that's great.
Taking my shoes off.
So what I like to do is I like to ease people into this. Taking the left hand and placing it on the heart center, right over the sternum. What I find the purpose of this is to help you to feel your heart in your center as you start going a little bit further out. It's a little bit of a grounding. Then we take Gyan Mudra, and what this does is it creates a little bit of tension in the hand, and it helps to localize. And pull this back a little bit. What I like to do in this is to hold the arm up. It can be up like this, but at least like this, not against the body. The main reason being is as we do this exercise, this arm is going to start hurting, and it's going to start it's going to start forcing you to let go a little bit more of the body, of the sensations of the body. So let's just all get into position. You can bring your chin in gently a little bit so the back of the neck extends up. And gently close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, get a feel for your body. Allow your gaze to turn inwards. Feeling your shoulders and your back and your chest. Feeling your seat, how your body connects to the ground or the couch. And also feel your hands on your heart, and your other hand is raised, elbows a little bit extended. And in order to get connected more deeply with the body, slowly start watching your breath. Watching it start at your tip of your nose and follow it with your awareness down through the back of your throat, into your lungs, into your heart center, maybe even past down into the abdominals and the navel. On the exhale, allowing your breath to release, going from your navel to your heart, to your throat, right back out to the world. Watching the breath is a really beautiful way of single point of focus to focus the mind in a gentle way. And to help us connect, to dive into our body. Feel your breath as it connects to your body and lights up new areas. Making sure your arm is straight up, not allowing it to drop down. You know, I might want to bring it up just a little bit higher. There you go. And as you start to inhale, allow your inhale to become a little bit more deep. The chest rises, the sides of your ribs come out. You may feel a little bit of tension in your lungs. That's good. And then when you exhale, allow that all to release with your breath. Each inhale, expanding your ribs and your lungs. Each exhale, allow your breath to be completely exhaled, pushing your navel towards your spine. And allow yourself to feel the rhythm of your breath so that it doesn't need to be guided by your mind. You can simply follow your rhythm. Feeling your unique pace. Feeling how the breath is connecting your body, still letting your awareness ride your breath. And then as you start exhaling, you can slow your exhale down, allowing it to be almost a sip, like you're slowly exhaling. The exhale can be 2 to 3 times slower than your inhale. Allow yourself to feel your settling. The activation of your vagus nerve. Deep inhale, expanding your rib cage and expanding your lungs. Deep exhale, slow exhale as your body releases and settles. And on your next inhale, I'd like you to take about an 80% inhale and suspend your breath. Your lungs are full, your spine is straight. And allow yourself just to sit there. Your face is relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your back between your shoulder blades are relaxed. Allow your breath to simply be suspended. Feeling your body, feeling that stillness. Waiting for the signal from your body that it's time to breathe. When you find that moment, simply start exhaling slowly until your breath is completely out, and then suspend your breath out. Face is relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. And when you need to inhale, you simply inhale about 80%. Suspend your breath, relax your body, Make sure your arm is up. And watching your emotions, watching your body, watching your mind. There may be some dizziness. Allow that all to settle. Keeping your attention at your heart center, right underneath your left hand. Listening to that signal that's deep from in your body. And it's time to breathe as you slowly exhale. Pushing the navel towards the spine so you get a complete exhale. And then holding the breath out for as long as you can. No force here. Just simple suspension until it's time to breathe, and then you inhale. If at any time you feel your mind trying to control or manage the situation, if you feel any fear coming up because I've held my breath for a long period of time, simply acknowledge that and allow it to settle. Allowing your awareness to settle right at your heart center, right under your left hand. And if you'd like to, you can take your eyes and roll them up to your brow point, spot right between your brow, and add a little pressure, a new focal point. Make sure your arms are up. In about a minute or so, your arm might start to hurt a bit. It might start feeling challenged. It might start shaking. That's fine. Just watch it and stay connected to your breath. Stay in your body. Let the body be challenged, but not be affected by it. Feel what your body feels like when it's challenged. Feel what it's like when you don't react to that challenge. Just watching. Sensing where there may be any resistance in your body, in your emotions. Scanning yourself quickly and inviting those places in to this stillness. Noticing how you can hear this signal of your body. It will tell you exactly when you need to breathe. And learning to trust that and to work with that. Feeling where fear may come up on either the inhale or the exhale, and acknowledging it, but not pushing against it, inviting it in, letting it settle. And after your last inhale and hold, as you exhale, you can slowly drop your hands down to your knees. Palms are up, eyes are closed. Eyes can still be rolled up to your brow. And allow yourself to integrate the shift that's taken place within you. Still staying connected to your breath, allowing your breath to keep you in your body connected. And let's all take a deep inhale and open our eyes. Welcome back. Maggie joined us midway.
You know, I was thinking, Peter, if you could, maybe at some point, we could edit this and put it on YouTube or something, and then I could just send this out to people I know that would love just a simple breathing exercise. I don't know if that's something we could just chop it down, just put in just this part and whatever. But
yeah, I'll put it on our YouTube channel, and then I'll give you the link to that.
Okay. And I don't know if it's recording on my end or yours, but I know it's recording.
It's on mine.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, thank you.
So you want to do a quick share?
I just feel grateful that to create some forced tension and be with it. And then I liked how it felt when I got to release it and just sit in that, a little bit of the pleasure of putting my arm down.
Whose arm hurt? Yeah.
I don't know what pose Maggie's doing. It's pretty fancy.
How do I look?
You're this way. You're this way, Maggie. You're doing some kind of yoga pose off the side of the wall. There you go.
Okay. My phone. I was on my phone and I couldn't get through to you guys on my computer. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, I came in late also.
No worries. You know, I noticed breathing has always been, because I used to dive, breathing's always been a big thing for me.
Yeah.
But I noticed just today, I'm okay on the inhale, but on the exhale, there was almost panic to be holding out. Like, I couldn't do it for very long. I mean, a few times I could hold it for maybe 10 or 15 seconds, but today that was super challenging.
And Will, I feel that's one of there's a couple things that I'll go over, but that's one of the real powers of this breath is that it is one of the simpler ways to create that feeling of panic, which people feel all the time, and then jump up in their heads. And it's like, how do we stay in the body and learn to navigate that and negotiate it?
Yeah.
And it's really, it's learning to trust it, that it's just a feeling coming through us. And once you learn to trust and settle in, it seems to dissipate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, go ahead, Tom.
Thanks, Maggie. Yeah, I found myself efforting and letting go of the effort. I settled in at the very end, Peter, but the few times I've done this, it still feels pretty effortful to hold the breath as long as I can, and then I'm breathing out, going, "Oh my God, I'm ready for a breath now. How do I breathe out more?" And then at the end of exhale, to hold it further, I'm like, "Holy fuck!" So in order to even get there, I mean, in the very beginning, as you were leading us, I was taking 2 breaths for your every one, because I didn't want to force it too much. But there must be some balance point between actually putting an effort into it to have it be unusual, but not trying too hard.
And what I find, Tom, is your breath holds will naturally become longer as you relax into it. And that's what I find this pranayama does, is it teaches us how to listen to our body, where there's a lot of noise from the surroundings and from our minds and from our emotions. And it's like, what's that true signal that's coming through the body just is saying, it's time to breathe. And I'm not forcing past that, and I'm not giving up before that. And what I find, it makes a really deep relationship to start listening to the body in a way that I haven't found many other practices that do that. And once you make that relationship, it's almost like I find myself relaxing into that. And then all of a sudden it becomes effortless. It becomes unconscious, where it's just a gliding motion. And I'm not forcing, but breath holds might go for a minute, maybe a minute and a half.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of experience, Peter, because you were a free diver. So you were holding your breath, up to, how long were you holding it for at certain points?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah. It's amazing.
So you guys could all do that. It's just that same thing. It's learning to feel the body. One of the other, I think 2 things that are really neat about this practice is that, the feeling, that gagging feeling you were saying, Will, that panic feeling, what that is that CO2 building up in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is, as you hold your breath, the CO2 will naturally, gradually start increasing. So what's cool about this is that as you continue this breath, it actually becomes more challenging from a somatic standpoint. The blood's going to turn more acidic, and the body's going to say, hey, you got to breathe. But what I find is that as we relax into it, for some reason, the breath holds become longer. And then also this right here, to be able to feel the tension in your body and to feel your arm shake and to be able to stay with your breath and in your body is just another practice of, sometimes my body's not feeling too good, but how do I not get so entangled in it that I lose my awareness of myself and my body?
That's good.
So Tom, from a standpoint of what you were talking about, are you frozen or are you still?
No, I'm still here.
He's just so dropped in.
I'm just so chill.
You
So
are,
chill.
brother. You are so chill. You're like frozen. Was Maggie jumping in at some point? Was there something?
No, I think Tom and both you and Tom said the same thing. I at the end of my exhale is when I have a hard time doing the breath hold more so than on after an inhale. That's just normal. So I'm glad to hear other people were having a hard time.
Yeah.
And your answer made sense to me, Peter.
And it is, I'm even amazed that we can even hold our breath out at all, since the body's already saying it's time to breathe. But I think there's something in the body that as we exhale, it just kind of assumes like, okay, I'm going to have an inhale, so it calms down a bit. And I find, it might be 10 to 15 seconds that you hold your breath out. And then that's the little bit more of the quicker activation,
Yeah.
Did you say at the beginning, if you already did, then hold off and I'll just listen to the tape. Did you mention the therapeutic uses of this to us? How you're using it in the container that we're interested in?
Yeah, I haven't.
And if you do, Peter, maybe we'll just, you can segue or something and
I can edit this.
I know, but there'd be a nice transition so it doesn't just go from
that to that.
Like we just did. That's all good. It'll be in there somewhere. All good. So we'll chop another piece out at the end and we'll splice it in or something. I think I wanted to just say before you guys talk, like I have such an interest in sharing this with people that I love, especially right now with all this going on, because I haven't had time to like share anything, and sometimes I love what you've already offered, and I think it could be really beneficial if people could just drop into this. I was even noticing the birds, I think were Tom or one of you guys were, and I thought, wow, I would just go back and play this again for myself. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and Tom, what I feel, the reason why I brought this up is that person that you're working with, this is a really, if you walk her through, and you could feel how I walked you through that. First, I got you into position and got you connected in your body and watching your breath and getting the breath a bit fuller and the exhales a little bit more complete, and then start the breath holds. And walking them through 2 or 3 of those, and to allow them to know I find the biggest thing is that fear. Is like, it's okay to feel that fear and allow it to come up and acknowledge it. Don't push against it, because that's when we start getting into our battle, and then we really start losing it. It's learning how to settle into that. And what I find, at least with the way you described that client, is, and I have a few that are like this, they feel and hear and then automatically jump up in their heads in a guarding situation and a management situation. And this is a gentle way for them to practice every day of how to lighten that, or how to let go of that gently.
Nice. We will give it a try.
Yeah.
Cool. I'd love to hear
what about, like, say I have a client the day of and they're having a hard time maybe with the uptake, where they start to panic a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're not fully merged yet.
Yes. Yeah.
So they're still with me enough. Would this be a good time to use it to help them?
I would think this would be a little bit too extreme.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I think this is more integrative and preparatory.
Okay, very good. I'm glad. I misunderstood you then the other day. I thought you were saying that would be a good time, the day of, when they were having a hard time. And it just didn't quite make sense for the very reason you answered. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
But we're going to do another breath that I think would be really powerful for that, and very simple. All right. So before we go on to the other breath, does anybody have any questions or comments or?
No, I like it.
But you want it about not quite 90 degrees, but but maybe almost 90 degrees.
Yeah, you know, the picture of the document I sent you shows it down here, and what I find is you want to bring it at least up here so it creates a bit of tension, ideally up here.
Yeah.
And you could see, I mean, you know, your arm just kept, and this will naturally happen, will naturally start sliding down. So what it also causes is to do, as you get more experience in this, is to be aware of your body. So as you drop into this deep meditative state and your mind quiets, but not to be disconnected to your body, so your body starts doing something that you're not aware of.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
So it's almost like you're deeply in another space of relaxation, but you're still present to what's happening here at the same time and be able to navigate that.
And that's why
did I get that right?
Like the heart center is a really great place, and that's why this hand is here. Is it's kind of like when we're with a client and you put your hand on their heart, it kind of brings them to this space. Well, we're doing that for ourselves. So it keeps us kind of centered while we're diving deep into the body, but also kind of going up and out a little bit. Right? And I mentioned about the rolling the eyes up to the brow point. Did anybody do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you feel anything when you did that?
I think it got a little lighter.
What I find with that, there's two things that happen. Your eyes, when go ahead and close your eyes and then roll them up and looking at your forehead or through your forehead, and you feel that little tension behind the back of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Okay, that's your optical nerve, and your optical nerve runs on either side of your pituitary gland. So it's a yogic way of stimulating your pituitary gland, which then stimulates all the things that the pituitary gland can release. You know, dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, oxytocin. And it's also a focal point that, just like the hand posture, we're holding a posture, a structure, and it's a very different structure than we're used to holding in everyday life. So this too it's called a drishti, which is an eye focal point. And just like watching the breath, focus in the eyes can do the same thing. It's a single point of focus when very often, you know, we've got these monkey minds that are bouncing all over the place. So how is it that we get the mind to a single point of focus so that it can calm down and watch what's taking place? Watching the breath, drishti, and hand postures tend to be very good ways of doing that. And they're not too evasive, so they don't distract us. They really just kind of settle us in.
Right. Super helpful, Peter.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just the basic 101 for just like everybody should know this, just as a basic quarantine survival kit. This should come along with every mask.
Well, you're selling those masks, so go
Well,
ahead.
I'm giving away, baby. I'm not selling them. I'm trying to
That's
give them to
true.
people.
That's true. Did anybody else find that uncomfortable? I could really feel the tension on my optic nerve.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable.
It will, Maggie. It's like everything, you know, it's like what we're doing in our practice is like, you know, somebody has a certain habit or a pattern that feels like normal life to them.
Okay.
And then all of these postures and breaths and focal points are literally just taking a different posture and having someone hold that. And what will naturally happen is it will push against the old structure. It will feel uncomfortable, in other words.
Okay. Well, I definitely want that to become comfortable, especially since it's releasing serotonin, oxytocin.
That's the
dopamine.
motivator. Yeah. We're like the little mouse. If we hit the lever, it gets us some, you know.
Release some more dopamine.
Exactly.
So do you guys want to jump? Would you like to jump into the next?
Yeah.
Sure.
This one's simple. You probably all have done it before, but you know, I just want to go through the mechanics of it. And to your point, Maggie, I think this is probably the simplest and probably the most helpful in those points where somebody is out of balance. And this is a structured breath that creates, very much like Will, I think you'll appreciate this, is with EMDR, you do bilateral stimulation.
Yeah.
Okay, this is basically bilateral stimulation, but you're using breath to do it.
Cool.
All right. So what I recommend is everybody, if you can have someone sit on the floor, sit on the floor. If you can't, sit up straight. And when I say sit up straight, you bring your chest up a little bit, and you'll feel your hips move forward a little bit. And then what I'd like you to do is to pull your chin in a little bit. You'll feel the back of your neck extend up, and it kind of meets your lifted chest. It really aligns the spine in a way that it's easy to hold. And allow yourself to relax into that. And then I'd like you to simply take your right thumb, place it on your right nostril, and slowly inhale through your left nostril. Getting a full breath of air, and when you have a full breath of air, take your pinky and close off your left nostril and exhale through your right. And when you're completely exhaled, inhale through your right. And a full inhale, close off your right nostril, exhale through your left. Then inhaling through your left.
This is an intelligence test.
And when you have a full breath of air, close off your left nostril, exhale through your right. This is called alternate nostril breathing. Eyes are closed. And you always want to keep and suggest that people have their eyes closed, because the eyes draw us out of ourselves so that we can stay inside.
Can you do that one more time, Peter? Run through that series just one more time.
Yeah. So taking your right thumb on your right nostril,
Mm-hmm.
inhale through your left nostril. When you have a full inhale, take your pinky, close off your left nostril, exhale through your right. Inhale through your right.
With your pinky still on.
Yeah. And then when you're totally inhaled on the right, close off your right nostril, exhale through your left.
And we have our eyes rolled up into our head, or just relax?
Yeah, if that's comfortable for you, yeah, roll up to your brow point, right between your eyebrows.
Go get it, Maggie.
And first, it's learning this dynamic of breathing like this. And after you get the mechanics down, allow yourself to feel the rhythm of it. Try to drop out of your mind. Almost like dancing. Feel the rhythm of the breath and the movement that goes with it. Go ahead and bring your chin down so that your head isn't pointing up after the neck is extended. Then I'd like to suggest that your inhales become a little bit more full and slower, so that you're expanding your rib cage and your lungs. And on the exhale, allowing your exhale to be really slow, really savor your exhale. Allowing yourself to feel the breath move through the body, staying always connected to your breath and feeling how it activates the body. Brings us into areas that are often not in our conscious awareness. Allowing your breath to become a little bit more full as your body finds more space as it relaxes. Allowing your exhales to be more complete, pushing your navel in towards the spine and maybe even up, pushing all the air out of your lungs. Letting the inhales be slow and purposeful, metered. And allowing your exhales to be slow, savoring the breath releasing from your body. Eyes are still closed. You can roll them up to your brow point or reset your what's called a dristi. And again, this is a journey of awareness so that as the body relaxes and the mind quiets, areas within the body that we don't know have resistance, maybe rigid, come into our awareness. Find those spaces within yourself and consciously, verbally invite them in. Acknowledge them. Bring them into your breath, especially your exhale, so that it can release. And on your next inhale, you can hold your breath. Allow your body to relax as your breath is suspended. Hands can come down to your knees. And allow yourself just to sit in this stillness. You're not even breathing here. Without any force, allow yourself just to sit and wait for that beautiful signal from your body. It's time to breathe. And when it comes, simply exhale and inhale, allowing yourself to pause with your eyes still closed. And sensing for yourself what this breath has done. What rhythm has it created in your body? What has it released? And what has it exposed, made available to you? Yeah, let's all take a deep inhale and open our eyes. And exhale. What do you think?
Or not.
Yeah, that was a test.
Wow.
Simple and profound.
So you can see, Will, I think, with EMDR, you can probably appreciate the similarities.
Yeah.
Maggie, this one might be a little bit too complicated even to do when somebody's journeying, but what you can do is you can just have them inhale left, exhale right, inhale left, exhale right, and it does kind of the same thing in a simpler manner.
Peter, is that working with the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system? Is that it's just it's this accelerator and the brake essentially, right? Is that what's
What I
happening?
find is the bilateral stimulation starts balancing the body, and I at least my own experience is, I get in trouble when part of my body's fighting another part of my body, and I don't even notice it. So it's a way of getting those in relationship. It may even balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It definitely something with the navel or the nostrils. Inhaling left, exhaling right creates a form of balance. I don't know if you know, but our body just naturally, like this nostril will breathe for like 20 minutes and then it will shut off and we'll breathe mainly out of this one. So our body's constantly regulating itself through the sinuses and our breath. So this is just
Wow.
a manual way of doing that and creating a further balance.
And Peter, I noticed, at least the way I've been taught, is not the pinky finger, but the ring finger, the ring and the pinky together. Is that just
Whatever's, like I often do, like I usually do this.
okay?
It depends if you're from the East Coast or West Coast. I think the East Coasters are more of a finger and pinky, and then the West Coasters are more pinky. I think it's just how it's been.
I got it. I've revealed my
You
East
bias
Coastness.
exactly.
I thought the East Coast used the middle finger. And then...
Yeah, that's the New York version.
Yeah, that's right. Specifically in New Jersey and New York, yeah. I have to jump at the top of the hour real close to it. So I just want to bring awareness to time, but wow.
What was your experience with that one? And how did it differ from the previous one, if it did?
Well, that one for me was much more relaxing. Like I think I almost fell asleep a couple times. Yeah. Like I could feel everything just settling really deeply.
And the breaths got longer. Like I could hold longer, exhale longer, and there wasn't a catch. Like when I started, it was almost had a staccato a tiny bit, like it would catch. And then it was almost like something got lubricated and it was just even flow.
And Maggie, that's when we drop out of the mind into the body. I use the analogy of dancing. Is as soon as you can feel, and I suggest that if you teach this to anybody, have them follow the rhythm of their breath, because we always start with our minds first, and it becomes that kind of effortful relaxation. And if we can, just like you listen to music, you might dance with music. If you can listen to the rhythm of your breath, now all of a sudden the physicality is associated with something that has a rhythm to it, and it becomes very unconscious.
Like it. Makes sense.
I've got a client, a 73-year-old woman who's literally losing her mind right now because of this social distancing thing, and she's got a thing with her eyes. So got all kinds of paranoid fantasies going on, phobias showing up, and I just have a feeling this may be a really good thing for her. because she's so in her head, and this just drops it down into her body and is really relaxing. Yeah.
And I would recommend this is probably a good introduction to breath, so you don't scare somebody.
Yeah.
And then that other one ends up being for someone more like the person Tom was working with. How do you get them in a state where they're so resistant that they learn how to release their resistance in a natural, kind of gentle way? And like Tom, what you felt in that first breath exercise, you know, we did both of these for 5 minutes. It's not uncommon when you start that it takes 3 to 5 minutes just to feel yourself drop in. But then as you get better at it, like I feel like I can drop in about 15 seconds just because I know the feeling of it. And I think it's the other thing is I trust it. You know, I think there is a trust factor there too. It's like, this isn't weird anymore.
Yeah.
Peter, thank you for doing this so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Peter.
Yeah,
it's really, really sweet.
Guys, I got thousands of these pranayams, and they really do have different effects based off of the pace and the tempo. So whatever I can share with you, you guys have given me so much. I'm just happy I can give back.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Yeah, it's really valuable.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I hopped on. I was delayed in another call, and I really got a lot of value. I don't know how long I was on the call, but I feel well nourished. Thank you.
Yeah. Great to see
I'll
you all.
Is I'll take this video, take it off, and make it available somehow to the whole group.
That'd be amazing.
All right.
I think I'd love to send it out to people, Peter, and you know, a lot of value. Thank you, sir. I gotta jump, but love you guys. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Take care.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Peter. Yeah, I'm going to share this right away with my client. So
awesome. Yeah, and Tom, as you share it, if there's any subtleties as you experience it, if you have any questions, you know, we can jump on Zoom real quickly. And there are subtleties of how to bring people in that you'll learn as you experience it more. You know, and they're just subtleties. I can't even explain what they are, but they're so subtle that they allow the person to drop in just a little bit more deeply. Sometimes they don't even know they're holding on. Yeah.
One thing I can anticipate is with holding that arm up. She's kind of a bit of a whiner and a wimp. And I imagine she's going to say right away, this hurts. I don't want to do this. This is too hard. Can I put my arm down? Well, does this really even matter? You know, and what would you say to that?
What you could do with her, just start like this. Because, you know, I showed you the full, you know, this is the full Monty.
Right.
You know, and this is intended to really give an effect. Now, you can do like this. You can have her sitting back in a couch, so you're not sitting up. You can have her just inhale and not hold the exhale out. So you can take pieces. The big part is heart center, inhaling and holding and learning to relax into that. And then exhale, inhaling again, learning to hold into that. So that might be a really great way.
Great. Yeah, I'll do progressive with that. That feels really right to start there. And then if we've got success there and that's easy, then say, okay, we're going to take it to the next level. Put your arm up here.
Yeah, what I do the next level would be the breath held out.
Okay.
And then the next level on that would be the arm up.
Nice. Good. Thank you. Yeah, I will do that then. That feels right. Yeah.
Awesome, Tom.
Good. All right, Peter. Thank you. Blessings, my friend.
Good seeing you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Take care. Yeah. Bye-bye.